This is probably my biggest pet peeve about being Greek. This is like probably the one thing that I actually really cannot stand.
I don't love just anyone. I am not just anyone. I rock heels, I rock Jordans, and I wear wigs and rock my natural. Can you believe he says I'm pretty for a dark skin? He was dark skin. I bought some Hennessy for these niggas. Wonder if they love their mother. I love their skin colors.
Hey Smoochies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Semyia, and you should go ahead and subscribe to my channel right now by hitting that subscribe button down below and clicking the notification bell right next to it so you can be notified anytime I upload. Well, if y'all clicked on this video, y'all know why y'all here. I am doing the cons of being in a sorority today. Now, I want to point out that there are way more pros to being in a sorority, and I'm going to be doing a video on the pros of being in a sorority next. Just so you guys know, I don't hate being in a sorority. I love it to death. The pros outweigh the cons tenfold over. But there are some things about being in a sorority that I wish were not like that were different. And a few other people have also shared some of their experiences about being in a sorority that they wish were different as well. Some of these can be applied to fraternities, but obviously I'm in a sorority. I'm also in a co-ed fraternity, but I'm not in a boys fraternity. So therefore, I don't know nothing about that for real, but some of it can be applied to that because some of them complain about some of the same things that we complain about over here on the sorority side. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below any questions that you guys might have. If you guys don't want to comment them down below, if they're too personal, you can DM me on any of my social media networks, or you can also personal message me on YouTube itself. So with that being said, I just filmed a video of a Q&A where people sent me questions through my social media. If you guys missed that, you can check out that video. It will be somewhere over here. And also, it will be linked down in the description box below. And if you guys want to, link up with me on social media networks, y'all can ask me more questions. Alright, so let's get started with these cons of being in a sorority. Con number one would be instant fame. So with being in a sorority, you automatically just become very well known around campus, and it's kind of like an overnight thing. So, because people obviously don't know that you're joining a sorority until you probate and come out, and then everybody's like, oh. So let's just talk about me. I'm gonna talk about myself in particular. I was not someone who was very well known around campus. I did not go to events like that. I was not up in people's face like that. I was not a super duper people person. I am an introvert. So a lot of times I stayed in my room, in my home, around my select few friends. I was not very well known. So when I came out the next day, I was in class. People who never talked to me was speaking to me. People I never seen before knew my name. They were all saying, hey, I'm not a mean person. So obviously I said hi back, but it was just very strange, weird, and uncomfortable for me because I was not used to all of this random overnight attention that I was getting. I'm like, what the heck? I just want to go back to being semi-invisible and only talking to people I know. So that's kind of what happened with that. All eyes is lurking. So being an overnight celebrity on campus is kind of crazy. You get all these random followers on your social media accounts. Also, it's just everything happens so fast. It's a lot to deal with overnight. The next thing is groupies, and this kind of just falls into what I was just talking about people you don't know all of a sudden knowing you, which isn't a problem. The part where it becomes a problem is when you get groupies. Those people who want to be in your face and compliment everything you do just because they want to know someone that's Greek, be around someone that's Greek, or try to get on to become Greek. You get all these people just flocking. Also, like, you get a lot of attention from the opposite sex that you didn't get before. And don't get me wrong, I always been cute. I've looked the same all my life, you know. I've always been cute, and I've never been one to be like, oh, I don't get enough attention. I got enough attention, but now it's like overkill. Like, I get all these randoms sending me DMs. I get people sending me inappropriate DMs that I don't ask for. I just got mad real quick because that pisses me off, yo. But anyways, it's just crazy. Like, people send you nudes in your DMs, and they thirst after you, and everybody wants to tell you how beautiful and amazing you are when nobody noticed you or wanted to say these things before. It's all just really groupie-ish. Like, now you have a responsibility to not only represent yourself, but your organization as a whole. It is so overwhelming. It's a lot of pressure to uphold. So if you're not used to being an influence or inspiration for other people, it could be completely a huge freaking deal. For me, I was used to people looking at me for like academic stuff and for inspiring them for other things. I was not used to people looking at me in a Greek way. So it wasn't really new, but it was just a lot more people looking at me and watching me. And basically, you know, I have young girls now who DM me and tell me they look up to me. I have, you know, girls who I once sat, you know, next to in class every day that, you know, now are looking at me to uphold a whole nother standard than I was before. You know, you now have to represent the principles of your organization and the letters. Even when you're not wearing the letters, you're still wearing the letters. So, like, if I don't have on any paraphernalia, anything that says Z5B, no blue and white, nothing like that on me, I'm still a Zeta when I walk outside my house. I'm still a Zeta inside my house. I'm still a Zeta no matter what. So even if I go to school and I'm not wearing anything that says Zeta Phi Beta on it, somebody's gonna recognize me and be like, that's Zeta. So if I'm at the club and I'm sloppy drunk, which I don't drink at all, but I'm just using myself as an example, not to use anybody else as an example. But if I'm at the club and I'm like sloppy drunk, they're gonna be like, dang, that Zeta was toe up last night. Or if I'm at the club and I'm fighting, they're gonna be like, dang, the Zetas was fighting at the club. Like, you're no longer your name. Unfortunate as that is, unless I knew you personally before I became a Zeta, you refer to me as that Zeta. That's just how it is. You're no longer you. You're no longer your name. You're that Zeta. Those Zetas, the Zetas. Like, that's just how it is, unfortunately. Or that whatever you're part of. I'm using the Zetas as an example because that's what I am. But, you know, this applies to all organizations. You represent your organization with or without your letters. Once you remember, you're a member for life, and people will forever know you as the member of that org. So you represent it at all times. The next one is that you're always busy. Always freaking busy. If you didn't have a life before, you now have a life that is now overwhelmingly your sorority. If it's not business and meetings and community service and recruitment and promoting and parties and step shows and yard shows and stroll-offs and whatever else, then it's your line sister's birthday, it's your Zetaversary, it's, you know, it's Founders Day, it's your Charter Day, it's something always. Like, there's nothing, there's never a day that there's nothing going on. Like, you're always busy. You're always busy planning, you're always busy participating, you're always busy going to support other organizations. You're just always busy. There's always something to do. And as fun as it is and as great as it is, and I love all of the activities that I get to do, but sometimes you just miss your normal friends. Sometimes you just want to hang out with your friends who are not members of organizations. Sometimes you just want to have alone time and stay in the house and sleep and watch Netflix all day instead of being in meetings for 5 hours. Sometimes you just want to just chill and be Semyia. So that's one thing about joining a sorority that you're going to have to prepare yourself for, is that you no longer will have a lot of me time. You will have a lot of them time and us time, but it won't be a lot of me time. You'll have your few days out the year of me time, but once you're part of a sorority, especially in the beginning when you're your first year or two, You are very, very hands-on. You're expected to do a lot because you have to learn the organization to pass the torch on. So until you pass the torch on, you are the one they're looking at like, y'all got it. It's your job. You got it. You good. So, yes. And also, I've held, several e-board positions within my organization, and that's another thing. Those are huge responsibilities to take on. Once you hold an e-board position, you're even more involved than a normal member who does not hold a position. And depending on the size of your chapter, you're going to be very involved anyway if you have a small chapter, because all hands got to be on deck to complete some of these things and make sure everything runs smoothly. If you have a large chapter, people could disappear and nobody will notice. But in my chapter of 20-something girls, if somebody disappears for a week, we're like, where you at? Why you ain't come help? So it's none of that. Okay, so the next one is financial responsibility. You now have a whole new bill to pay. Because now you have dues, you have, t-shirts, you have traveling expenses, you have, donations and things like that, gas, all kind of stuff. You now have, a whole nother financial responsibility, and it seems like you're spending a lot of money towards your organization, but it's fine because, you know it's going to come right back out to you as part of your organization, and it's just part of what it is. It's a business. That's how it runs. But you now have a whole nother financial responsibility. So if you're not financially stable, it can be stressful. But the thing is I've been through that. I've been through times where I've been financially stable and able to just, dish it out. And I've been through times where I wasn't financially stable. And I'm like, y'all, I can't get these matching t-shirts with y'all this time. And a soror will just drop it in my my cash app, Square Cash, whatever. And I'm like, girl, you so sweet. She was like, nah, girl, you're not about to be sitting out. You gonna match us. So, it kind of, it's okay, but it can be stressful when, everybody's like, we're about to go out to eat together as sisters. And you like, so I ain't got no money, so I can't go. Stuff like that. But, usually there's sisters that, if they have it, they'll definitely help you, and vice versa. When you have it, you help them. So, but it is definitely a whole new financial responsibility with becoming a member of a sorority. It is not cheap, y'all. Fake people. And this goes on to the groupies, except for these are not people that are looking at you to try to date you for the clout. These are people who are trying to get on. They are trying to be underneath you. Specifically for Zetas, let's say dudes might be trying to be cool with me because they want to be Sigmas. Girls will be trying to be cool with me because they obviously want to be Zetas. And I think that happens with the Sigmas too. Girls will try to get at them because they want to be Zetas and they think they can put them on two different orgs, by the way. They can't help you. We can't help you. Don't do that. So, but anyways, this is where, you have the issue of people wanting to only be your friend because they want something from you. And that just sucks. Like, that is not a good feeling when you realize that that's what's happening. It sucks. You don't like to feel used, and once that person feels used, baby, you done lost your chances because now you just burned a bridge with that person. They may have genuinely liked you. Y'all could have probably been cool. And to me, honestly, you don't have to fake my friend to get, to get on. If you come to me and you just be like, hey, I'm interested, and your credentials speak for themselves, you don't gotta pretend to be my friend to get that, honey. If you got what it takes, then you could get on. Like, I ain't one of them people that just be like, oh, well, we don't hang out, so you don't buy me nothing, so like, I don't really care about none of that. I just want my organization to thrive. So if you got something to bring to the table for my organization and you really want to be a part of it, then by all means, boo-boo, just be straight up with me. Do not try to be my friend just for that, but we don't mesh, we don't click, and you don't like me like that. Don't do that. Big pedestals and superhuman personas. The one thing that, this is probably my biggest pet peeve about being Greek. This is like probably the one thing that I actually really cannot stand is when people put me on a huge pedestal or give me this superhuman persona and act like I can't make mistakes. I can't have an opinion about certain things. I can't say or speak on certain things. I can't wear certain things, I can't live my life the way I always live my life because now, oh, you're Greek and people are looking at you, and it's so wrong for you to be honest, because if you say that you feel this way, then other people are gonna be like, my organization specifically, I joined my organization because it accepts people from all walks of life, all different opinions, and just people that are just different. We are not the same. We are not the same people. We are all individuals that make up a whole. That whole does not make individual. Like, we are individuals that make up a whole. There will be no Zeta if there were no members. And those members are all different women who make up Zeta. So, and for every other organization, it's the same. So I absolutely hate when people tell me, you cannot feel this way, you can't say this, you can't do this, you can't participate in that because it's not a good look, da 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 da. As long as I'm not doing it with my letters on and saying, this is what Zeta feels, this is a representation of how the organization feels, then I'm not doing anything wrong. In any of my videos, especially, because someone tried me on my videos. You know who you are. Any of my videos, especially if I am representing my organization in that video, I always put in the freaking the description. If you guys haven't noticed, if you ever read it, there's always a disclaimer that lets you know that these views and opinions are only mine and mine alone, and don't represent any organization or any entity other than thyself. So that is important, and that's one of the things that I just don't like. I'm human like anybody else. I make mistakes, I bleed, I cry, I do wrong sometimes, and I correct myself, and how I gracefully, stand back up after I fall and correct myself and do better is what represents me. Nothing else. At the end of the day, I was Semyia before I became a member of this organization, and yes, I will absolutely do everything I can to make sure that I represent my organization in the best light possible. But I'm not perfect. No one is. And we all fall short at times, and we're all different, and we're not all going to be the same. So don't expect anything more of me than the Lord expects of you. For all you hardcore Christians out there that's preaching to me, okay? The next one is politics. Oh my God. This one is a big one as well. It doesn't really bother me as much because I'm so used to it now, but this one is a very big one, especially on my campus. Did I just say that? Politics. Certain organizations getting special treatment, getting, higher recognition or preference over other organizations on your campus. And that does not mean among the peers and students, because that's going to happen anyway. They're all going to have their fan favorite. It happens. And those fan favorites fall from grace, and then another one rises up, and then that one falls down, and another one rises up. I ain't talking about that, because people on campus are very fickle. They don't have a favorite. What I'm referring to is faculty and staff on your campus, college, university, whatever. If they're members of an organization, or the staff or faculty is made up of majority members of a certain organization, just know that that organization can never lose. That organization will never get in trouble for anything wrong. That organization will always have first pick, will always, have preference. It is what it is. And then the organizations that don't have as much representation when it comes to faculty and staff will then have to just work that much harder to build their own reputation, their name, and do what they have to do. But that is just what it is. The politics of it all are very annoying. That's one con of being in a sorority or Greek organization, period. Then the last one is fake beef and rumors. And we're all guilty of this to some extent. If you just watch yard shows and step shows and things like that, there's always this fake beef. Some of them are real. Some beefs are real, I ain't gonna lie. Some people really do beef with other organizations. That's real life sometimes. But majority of it is just propaganda. It sells, it brings attention, it brings cheers, it makes the campus like one organization over another. Majority of it is just rumors, lies, and BS. They're just playing into a stereotype. We sit here, we do these chants about I'm better than you because this, and you're whack because this, and I run the yard, and da-da-da-da-da. All that stuff is just purely for entertainment. Don't take it personally, because I might rag on the SG Rolls in the yard show, but a lot of them I'm cool as hell with. Like, we're cool. I go to the club with them. We eat. They be at my house. We have dinner. Like, and with other organizations as well. Like, you'll see me in the show talking about somebody, and the next you'll see us hanging out on the yard. So do not take those things like personally and assume that that is factual, actual evidence, and that's just what it is, because a lot of times it's not. It's just for show and entertainment, and you know, we just do these things because they're fun. They bring entertainment to the show, and everybody wants to feel like they're the best. Woohoo, yay. But that is the last one, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of my cons of being in a sorority. Like I said, I will be doing a pros of being in a sorority because there are a lot. But those are the cons, the biggest cons I could think of being in a sorority or fraternity, Greek life, whatever. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys didn't know any of those things that I just informed you guys with, I hope that it was informative to you guys and it gave you an in-depth look of what sorority life is like, instead of just thinking everything is peaches and cream and all gravy and it's good, because it's not. There are some things, like anything, there are good and bad with everything. So now you guys know about the bad, and next we'll talk about the good. But I hope you guys just enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment below any questions or comments, whatever. Anything that you guys want to see up next, anything you want me to cover, to talk about on my channel. Follow all my social media in the description box below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell for notifications. I think that's it. Yeah. So I'll see you guys later, and thanks for watching. Smoochies. Smooches.
I heard you. She got that water. Splash. Drip. Drip. Woo. Splash. Hey. Slippery. Whoa. Excuse me. Please me. Please. I'm up. Believe me. Believe me. Believe me. Get beat. Cause I'm flexing.